Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go!
At my husband's family annual dinner, every year, it's the same drama with his youngest sister. She's got a drinking problem and can't drive, so someone always has to drive her around. Last year, the oldest sister had to play chauffeur. She didn't get to spend much time with the family because her baby sister kept whining about wanting to go home. This year, my husband volunteered to drive her. He thinks she'd be more considerate, especially since we're all getting older. We even lost the oldest brother last year. So there we were at the restaurant. The second baby sister finished eating. She started fidgeting and looking around. Baby sister says, "I'm ready to go now." I couldn't believe it. I turned to her and said, "You can't bully him into leaving like you do with your sister." My husband tried to calm her down. "Relax, let me finish eating." Next thing I know, she's asking the oldest brother's widow to help her in the bathroom. I had a bad feeling about it, but I didn't follow them. I wish I had. A little while later, my husband was ready to leave, and we all got in the car, including the baby sister. As we were driving, I got a call from the oldest sister. "Is the baby with you?" "Yeah, why?" "Someone from her church just showed up at the restaurant to pick her up." I was shocked. I turned to look at the baby sister in the back seat. "What's going on? Why is there someone from your church at the restaurant to pick you up?" "It's none of your business. If you called someone for a ride, why are you in our car?" "I want to go home, and I'm not talking to you." And that's when I lost it. Fine, then hear this. You're obnoxious with your entitlement. Just because you're the baby sister, by minutes, mind you, you think everyone should be your chauffeur, pay for your food, buy you drinks, or let you finish their beer? If you don't get your way, you figure out who to manipulate next. She just sat there, silent and sulking. As we got off the interstate, we saw a homeless woman yelling on a street corner. "Look, there is your future if you don't shape up." "How dare you? You can't talk to me like that." "I just did. And you know what? We're done enabling you." My husband says, "She's right. This has gone on long enough." We pulled up to her house, but before she could get out, I turned to face her. "From now on, you arrange your own rides. No more last-minute calls, no more guilt tripping. If you want to be a part of this family, start acting like an adult." "You can't do this to me. I'm family." Husband tells her, "Being family doesn't mean we have to put up with your behavior. Get help, or don't bother coming to the next dinner." She stormed out of the car, slamming the door behind her. As we drove away, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The next day, I got a call from the oldest sister. "I heard what happened. Thank you for finally saying something." "Well, someone had to. I just hope it makes a difference." We all do. The rest of the family is on board. No more enabling. Over the next few months, we stuck to our guns. Baby sister tried calling for rides, but we all declined. It wasn't easy, and there were plenty of angry voicemails and text messages, but we knew it was for the best. 6 months later, we had another family dinner, and to everyone's surprise, baby sister showed up in a taxi. She says, I've been going to Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm 3 months sober." The room fell silent. Then one by one, family members stood up to hug her. Husband says, "We're proud of you. This is a big step." I tell her, "It's good to have you back. The real you." The dinner went smoothly with actual conversations and laughter. When it was time to leave, baby sister stood up. "I've called for my ride. Thank you all for not giving up on me," she says. As she walked out, I saw her get into a car with her Alcoholics Anonymous sponsor. It wasn't the perfect ending, but it was a start. And sometimes that is all you need. I guess I should start from the beginning. I have a 12-year-old daughter named Chloe. Chloe was born with cerebral palsy, which affects her muscle control and movement. She is a light of my life, but everyday tasks can be challenging for her. Last week, Chloe had a growth spurt, and suddenly none of her clothes fit right. As a single mom working 2 jobs, I don't have much free time, but I managed to get a Saturday afternoon off to take her shopping. It's not easy finding clothes that work for Chloe's needs, so I was relieved when we found a store with a good selection of adaptive clothing. We picked out a few items and headed to the fitting rooms. The store was busy, but the attendant was kind enough to give us the larger accessible stall. Chloe was excited to try on her new clothes, but it takes us longer than most people. I have to help her in and out of outfits, and we need to make sure everything fits comfortably with her leg braces. We've been in there for about 15 minutes when I heard a commotion outside. I didn't think much of it at first, focusing on helping Chloe with a pair of pants. And that's when it happened. The door to our fitting room suddenly burst open. A woman with a scowl on her face and a teenage boy behind her stormed in. I instinctively moved to cover Chloe, who was only in her underwear. "Excuse me? This room is occupied." The woman, who I will call Karen because that's exactly who she was, ignored me completely. "You've been in here forever. My son needs to try on his clothes now." I was shocked. Not only had she barged in on us, but she was trying to kick us out of a clearly marked women's fitting room for her son. "Ma'am, this is a women's fitting room. Your son cannot be in here, and we're not finished yet." "I don't care. You've had long enough. Some of us have places to be." Before I could respond, she reached out and grabbed Chloe's arm, trying to pull her towards the door. Chloe cried out in pain and fear. "Mom!" That was it. Mama Bear mode activated. I shoved Karen as hard as I could, sending her stumbling out of the fitting room. I slammed the door shut and locked it. Karen shouting from outside, "How dare you push me? I am calling the police." I could hear a crowd gathering outside, murmuring and asking what was going on. I held Chloe close, trying to calm her down. "It's okay, sweetie. I won't let her hurt you." "Why was she so mean, Mom?" I didn't have an answer for that. We quickly got Chloe dressed and I took a deep breath before opening the door. Karen was still there, angry as ever. The moment she saw us, she charged forward. "You assault me and then hide? I'll teach you a lesson." I braced myself for impact, but it never came. Just as Karen was about to reach us, I saw a leg stick out from the crowd, and Karen tripped and went flying, landing face first on the floor with a sickening crunch. The store erupted in chaos. People were shouting, Karen was wailing on the ground, blood pouring from her nose, and I looked up to see who had tripped her, catching a glimpse of a woman with short gray hair and kind eyes. She gave me a small nod before slipping away through the crowd. Store security arrived first, followed closely by the police and paramedics. As the EMTs tended to Karen's broken nose, I gave my statement to the officers. Several witnesses came forward, including the fitting room attendant, all confirming my version of events. Officer says, "Ma'am, would you like to press charges?" I looked at Chloe, who was still shaking but trying to be brave. Then I looked at Karen, who was glaring at me even as the paramedics worked on her nose. "Yes, I would." Karen shrieking, "You can't do that. She assaulted me first." "Ma'am, we have multiple witnesses and security footage. You are under arrest for assault, attempted battery, and public indecency." As I led Karen away in handcuffs, I felt relieved. The store manager approached us looking apologetic. "I am so sorry this happened. Please choose whatever you like from the store free of charge." I was grateful for the gesture, but all I wanted was to get Chloe home. As we were leaving, I scanned the crowd one last time for our mystery hero, but she was nowhere to be seen. On the drive home, Chloe was quiet for a while before speaking up. "Mom, why do some people act like that?" I sighed, trying to find the right words. "Some people, sweetie, forget that everyone has their own struggles and needs. But remember, there are also good people out there, like the woman who helped us." Chloe nodded, seeming to understand. We spent the rest of the weekend at home recovering from the ordeal. On Monday, I received a call from the police station. They wanted to know if I'd be willing to testify in court against Karen. I agreed without hesitation. Karen tried to fight the charges, claiming she was a victim, but security footage clearly showed her barging into our fitting room and grabbing Chloe. Witnesses testified about her aggressive behavior and attempted attack. And then the day of the sentencing finally arrived. The judge says, "In light of the evidence presented and the defendant's lack of remorse, I hereby sentence the defendant to 6 months in jail, followed by 2 years of probation. Additionally, the defendant is ordered to complete 200 hours of community service at a center for individuals with disabilities." And regarding the woman that tripped Karen that day and saved us, we never saw her again. But her simple act of kindness had a lasting impact on our lives. We still go shopping together, but now we do it with our heads held high, knowing that for every Karen in the world, there are countless others who will have our backs. And who knows? Maybe someday we will be the ones extending a helping hand or foot to someone else in need. Okay, so I, a 16-year-old girl, just got my first job a month ago. Last week, I received my first paycheck, which was really exciting. And one of the main reasons I got a job was to cover some of my non essential expenses: clothes, hobby supplies, room decor, some food. Since my mother, a 52-year-old stay at home mom, always has been, and I didn't want to be a burden for my 56-year-old father. Before I received my first paycheck, I had budgeted exactly how much I wanted to spend and what I wanted to spend it on, as I didn't want to blow it all. My plan was to save at least half and spend what I didn't save. I admit I did spoil myself a bit. I got some new clothes, a new sewing machine, and I'm going to get my nails done. All of this was only around $180 out of $500. I also gave a portion to the church at my mother's request. I plan to put the rest in savings and not touch it. My mother is terrible with money. She can blow through $800 in one day. She's also always asking someone in our family for money, like my dad or my siblings, 22-year-old brother and 21-year-old sister. And usually they give it to her. But my sister's rent has gone up and her work hours has been cut, so she doesn't have money to give out like she used to. My brother isn't working because he's only home for the summer. My father also has some new expenses to pay, so basically nobody has handouts for her anymore. So she decided to come to me. Since I received my paycheck, she's been acting kinda weird. When I got it, she wouldn't leave me alone until I told her how much it was, even though I wasn't comfortable sharing that information with anyone. Then she started talking about how, in her culture, I'm a first-generation American, a child's first paycheck is given to the parents as an offering and a way to show thanks for raising them. I told her it's a good thing I wasn't born where she was, so I don't have to do that. I thought she would stop, but then she brought up how it's been so long since she got a pedicure. It's been literally 3 weeks. I said okay, and then she asked if I would pay for it. I gave her $30. This is how much our regular nail salon charges for pedicures, and she got upset and said it wasn't enough. I told her that I didn't have any more to spare and she said I was being greedy. Okay, whatever. Then she went grocery shopping, which she paid for as usual with my brother's assistant program card. I got a few snacks/ingredients and my food came up to about $27, which isn't bad since I share my snacks with my siblings and cook for them too. But then my mother starts complaining. If you're going to eat all that, then you're going to have to start paying for it too. It's rude to try and bankrupt your brother. I was upset that she was making comments on my eating habits. She's always making comments about my body. And also frustrated that she was trying to get more money out of me. So I just told her to put all my snacks and stuff down and that I didn't need them really anyway. She got even more upset and said I was making a scene and being spoiled, but I just ignored her. The thing is though, it's not just her. My father is acting like this too. First, I took a shower. I do take kind of long showers, usually 30 minutes. But this was never a problem until now. He literally stormed into the bathroom. He actually slammed the door open. It's super uncomfortable for me, but whatever. And he told me that if I was going to be wasting his water, then I was going to have to start pitching in for the water bill. He was serious. So now I don't shower when he's home to avoid conflicts like this. Then he told me to give him $50 to send to his family back home. I asked if he would pay me back and he said he shouldn't have to since he's never asked me to pay him back for raising me. Basically, I don't know, maybe I'm actually just being too stingy. They are not wrong that they never asked me to pay them back for raising me, so maybe I do owe it to them. But also, I really don't make that much, and I think I should be allowed to spend my money how I want to. I am literally going into my senior year, which is so expensive already, and I don't want to spend all my money in case of an emergency. I just really want to save, and they are not letting me do that. But I don't know if they are entitled or maybe I am. Sorry if this is too long. ETA. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I forgot this since this was actually really upsetting and the whole reason I made this post. A few days ago, I fell asleep on a couch with my phone unlocked, I guess. Right after I dozed off, I felt someone grab my phone, which was next to my head. I woke up, looked at her all confused, and asked her to give it back, and she did. But she forgot or doesn't know how to close recently used apps. So when I opened the phone, I saw that she had opened the money transfer app. I don't want to accuse her of anything, but I feel like if I had woken up any later, she probably would have sent herself money or something. I don't know, that was really weird. Been working at Joanne Fabrics for about 6 months, and let me tell you, it wasn't a dream job I'd imagined when I first started college. But hey, it paid the bills and gave me some spending money while I pursued my degree in graphic design. The uniform wasn't exactly fashion forward. A dark green polo was a company name and a matching apron. Not terrible, but not great either. It had been a long day at work filled with picky customers and endless restocking. All I wanted was to grab some groceries and head home to crash. So I stopped by Publix on my way. Big mistake. I was standing in the snack aisle debating between tortilla chips and pretzels when I heard someone clear their throat behind me. Loudly. Like unnecessarily loud. I figured I was blocking something, so I shuffled a few steps down the aisle. And that's when I heard it. That tone. You know the one. Entitled, impatient, and just a hint of condescension. Excuse me, where can I find the organic quinoa? I turned around ready to explain that I didn't work there when I realized she'd already assumed I did. Maybe it was a green polo, who knows? Being the nice person I am, or was before retail sucked the life out of me, I decided to help anyway. I think it might be in the health food section, but I'm not entirely sure. You think? Shouldn't you know? What kind of employee are you? Actually, I don't. Never mind, just go find out where it is. Now. And that's when I snapped. 6 months of dealing with entitled customers at Joanne's had worn me down, and I wasn't about to take it from someone when I wasn't even on the clock. No, you can find it yourself. I don't work here. I walked away, leaving her sputtering in disbelief. I thought that was the end of it, but boy was I wrong. About 10 minutes later, I was in the dairy section trying to decide between almond milk and oat milk, because apparently that's what being an adult is all about. When I saw her again, she gave me a nasty look. Before she could say anything, a man in a bright green polo, an actual Publix employee, turned into the aisle. Karen zeroed in on him like a shark smelling blood. I tried to make myself invisible behind the milk cartons, but it was too late. Are you the manager? I need to speak to you immediately about one of your employees. The manager, looking tired but professional, nodded. How can I help you, ma'am? Person over there, pointing at me, has been incredibly rude and unhelpful. I asked them where to find something and they refused to help. Then I caught them on their phone instead of working. This is unacceptable customer service. The manager looked at me, then back at Karen, his brow furrowed in confusion. Ma'am, are you sure you're talking about this person? Yes, the one in the green shirt. They've been nothing but lazy and disrespectful. The manager took a deep breath and I could see him summoning all his patience. Ma'am, I am sorry for the confusion, but that person doesn't work here. Our employees wear bright green polos, not dark green, and they certainly don't wear aprons with other company logos. Karen's face went through a series of emotions: confusion, disbelief, and then anger. That is ridiculous. You're all lying to cover for a lazy employee. I want to speak to your supervisor. The manager, bless his soul, stood his ground. Ma'am, I am the supervisor on duty. I can assure you that this person is not an employee of Publix. Now, if you'd like help finding something, I'd be happy to assist you myself. Karen looked like she was about to explode. This is outrageous. I've never been treated so poorly in my life. I'm going to call corporate and have all of you fired. She stormed off, her cartwheel squeaking in protest as she pushed it aggressively down the aisle. The manager turned to me, looking apologetic. I'm so sorry about that. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for handling that. I tried to tell her I didn't work here, but she wouldn't listen. Don't worry about it. It happens more often than you think. Can I help you find anything to make up for the trouble? I smiled and told him, actually, yeah. Do you know where I can find the organic quinoa? We both laughed and he showed me to the right aisle. As I finished my shopping, I couldn't help but feel a little satisfied. Karen might have ruined my peaceful grocery trip, but at least she'd made a fool of herself in the process.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.